Namibians from different corners marked the Constitution Day, which is normally held on February the 9th. Member of Equal Namibia, Omar van Rienen, says in 32 years of Namibia's independence, the country has done well in preserving of the provisions of the Constitution.
Queer people do not need an explicit prohibition on the basis of sexual orientation to be protected in this Namibia. The Constitution protects us. The rights enshrined in the Constitution gives us our equality. The people who are entrusted to enforce the Constitution are not carrying through the words of the Constitution. Many of those people who are violating our rights are actually the drafters of the Constitution themselves.
However, Van Rienen reminded Namibians to respect the provision of Article 8 that guarantees respect of all Namibians irrespective of their gender or sex. PDM MP and community activist Ina Hengari also stressed the need to carry out awareness campaigns to impart knowledge on rights of every individual.
Me, as a member of parliament, going beyond that, I think it's an important day, especially as it reminds us and it gives us an opportunity to really think about the importance of these freedoms that we've been guaranteed in the Constitution. But also beyond that, beyond the benefits that we gain from this Constitution and beyond the gains of independence, I think it's also important to look at the Constitution Day as a day to reflect on our personal responsibilities towards the Constitution, towards the upholding and protection of the Constitution.
Hengari called on Namibians to read the Constitution and not only wait for activists to fight for their rights. The public relations officer from the Ombudsman's office, Aurelia David, echoed the same sentiments.
It's important that we have a supreme law that is in the best interest of the public, especially those from previously disadvantaged backgrounds or from those that we will consider as marginalized persons. So where we really come in here is to create awareness around the Constitution, why it is important for people to know at least Chapter 3, the fundamental human rights and freedoms.
And they all called for people to know their Constitution.
I wouldn't understand why it isn't a priority for our government to make sure that our citizens know how to publicly participate in the legislative process, in the electoral process, who to go to when there's an issue. Some citizens don't even know that they have a right to reach out to the members of parliament who are their elected representatives to voice their concerns on any legislative issues.
Let us wake up from this Messiah syndrome and this slumber where somebody must come fight for me and, I'm entitled to these activists that must be born into my community and become activists in our own rights, in our own communities, and speak for our own people and not wait for people to come into our community to speak for what is owed to us.
Version of the Namibian Constitution that is available on our website, and that we also give out to schools when we do our outreach. We give out to learners. It's basically the Constitution, but in layman's terms, and especially with children's rights, speaking to children's rights, and where we try to tone down the language as much as possible for children to understand, to get information on this document.